What is your perception on contraception? How did you discover what's best for you, and where did this information come from? I dive deeper into these questions today with Sarah Robson, a medical practice receptionist, and Tom West, a third-year nursing student, to help surface the core root of where we find out what is best for us and why we choose these options. So I'll just ask you these questions. Out of the contraception types out there, how did you come to learn of those? Like, was it through school? Was it through your own sort of research?
Through school, like sex ed, in, I don't know, whatever year it was. And I guess I learnt about the marina through, I would say, a bit of work and through a friend that got it. But also, I think a lot of that was just through school and then through, I don't know, reading like Cosmo or something, I don't know. You know, like you just sort of find out random stuff, especially like condoms and the pill and everything everyone knows about because they got it for their skin.
Speaking with Sarah, we quickly discovered that contraception, although it isn't foreign to millennial women, chose the pill within their adolescence. I find this quite interesting, as when we both tried to remember why we felt the need to choose this method of protection, it wasn't really based on education, more so because others were doing it at the time and more along the lines of a social trend. And why did you choose the pill in the first place?
It was just sort of the natural thing to do, I guess, once because you don't want to just rely on a condom. Mm-hmm. And so...
Was that just more of an assumption, or were you sort of told by someone to do it, or was it like a social trend to get the pill?
It was just sort of what you did, you know, you go on the pill. Like if you really don't want to get pregnant, like everyone just went on the pill. Especially like if you've got a boyfriend or whatnot. Although some people didn't and they just used condoms, and I know some people that just like would pull out and that was all they had with their boyfriend. But no, I would say that's just like what I thought was the next logical move to do.
This is where we start to reflect on whether or not we really know what we are choosing for ourselves is the right thing. Sarah, moving on to the marina instead of the pill, has chosen this at a later stage in her life since she's become more aware of the alternate options available. What made you choose the marina? Because that's...
Well, my friend got it and I was sort of sick of taking the pill. Just because like I'd forget to take it, and sometimes I just didn't like the effects that it had on my body.
Although women do have various options on the market to choose from, we arrive at the evident knowledge that men don't have as much to choose from as women do. What are the male contraceptions that you currently know of?
Only the condom and getting like a vasectomy.
Mm-hmm. As there may not be a need for as many male contraceptions on the market, there is an underlying question which is important to bring up when discussing contraception. Is protection used for pregnancies or STDs? You can ask yourself this too. For health and safety, the answer should be both, especially now that stealthing has arisen. However, I find that most contraceptions are advertised with the main benefit of protecting or preventing from pregnancy. So that really brings to the surface the ideology that maybe women aren't thinking as much about STDs as they should be when choosing their contraception.
Also important to, at this point in time, say that I'm going to include measures which prevent STIs, as it's a major part of this rather than just something which is going to stop unwanted pregnancy or contraception. What I do think though, there is a lack of maybe education, especially around STI prevention as opposed to unwanted pregnancy.
Ideally, males would protect themselves in this scenario by using a condom, but in most cases, if women are on the pill or have an alternate such as the Implementon or Marina, males would go without. Now, who's to say what you would do and don't do behind closed doors, but it's really the core of this feature today, to highlight that our perception on contraception is ideally focused on preventing pregnancies, to protect against this, and women reach for the pill first, and then maybe later on in life they would go for an alternate option. Whilst men don't have as many protection options available on the market, this need isn't flagged as crucial. So will it ever be? And will we ever find a need to have more male contraceptions? We'd like to talk more about this in our polls below, so please comment, and thanks so much for listening.